Good evening. Thanks for choosing KRTV. I'm Shannon Newth. We begin tonight with those stimulus payments as Congress acts quickly to approve a second round of legislation to prop up the economy and offset the pandemic's impacts. Montana senators differ on how successful the first shot of stimulus money has been. As MTN's Dennis Bragg reports, Senators Jon Tester and Steve Daines agree more help will be needed to get through this.
With checks and business loans starting to arrive from the multi-trillion-dollar CARES Act, Senators Steve Daines and Jon Tester are anxious to get that money into checking accounts. However, they view the success of that rollout differently.
Yeah, I think we're going to need more help and more assistance, but it's been tremendous to see the outpouring of support that we've already experienced with these small businesses across Montana. These small businesses had these gut-wrenching decisions. They literally had to shutter their doors, lay off their employees, and working with these local banks who have rushed quickly to help these small businesses. It's a great story, providing help here one by one and getting these employees back on the payroll. There's been some great wins already.
What's kind of your impression on the rollout and trying to get some of this help for individuals anyway?
I don't want to be too harsh, but the truth is that we're in the middle of a pandemic here, that this money was put forth 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Time flies, but the fact of the matter is businesses can't survive on their good looks. They have to have money.
Tester says implementation of the program has been problematic, saying the Small Business Administration is very, very slow to get loan details to banks, which he says need time for their methodical process. Daines believes there are lessons to be learned that will improve arrival of the next measures.
We'll take a first look at what worked and what didn't work in this $2.2 trillion package. So whatever did work, well, let's double down on that. If something didn't work, let's change it and make it better for the next round.
Time is a ticking, and a lot of these businesses, they don't have time on their side. So we've got to get that money out. $2.2 trillion is a lot of money. And quite frankly, it was set to really help the hospitality business right out of the chute. And so to be still talking about this in the middle of April is not acceptable. Let's just put it that way.
Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
Reports today indicate the Payroll Protection Program has already paid out nearly $300 billion with 1.3 million loans, with indications it could quickly reach its limit. There's now a website where you can track the status of your stimulus check. The IRS's Get My Payment website tells people when to expect the money and if the IRS needs more information before sending a check. It also shows if checks have been delivered or deposited into a bank account. We have a story with more information and a link right now at KRTV.com. Now to today's update from the governor's coronavirus task force. Again, let's start with the good news. 209 Montanans have recovered from coronavirus. We have 5 new cases since yesterday, bringing the statewide total to 404. Cascade County holds steady at 13 cases. 7 people have died, and on the map, you're seeing the counties with deaths are indicated by that darker red-purple color. Something new from the website, there's now a distinction between active and total hospitalizations. Right now, 21 people are hospitalized from coronavirus complications. Toole County has been one of the harder hit areas, but they've held steady for a couple of days now with 26 cases and 3 deaths. The Toole County Health Department announced they'll be hosting a Facebook Live tomorrow at noon with Incident Command and healthcare leaders. You can message TCHD or Marias Medical Center with questions ahead of time. Well, schools all over the country have had to adapt to the challenges of remote learning, but the task can be even more daunting for our rural communities with high poverty rates. MTN's Tom Wiley shows us how one school system along the High Line is thinking outside the box to keep students engaged and on track.
Earlier this week, the staff at Box Elder Public Schools posted a video where they tried something a little different.
On me, brother, when you need a hand.
We all need somebody
to lean on
me when you're not strong.
The results were mixed.
We all have sorrow,
but if we are wise.
But the message and the thought behind it were loud and clear.
No, we just like to do silly, fun things, and we're always trying to engage our older kids mostly because it's a little bit harder to engage them when not in the building. We have a really good relationship between the students and staff. We just try to find any means necessary.
Every school has faced challenges adapting to the new reality of remote learning in the time of COVID-19, but the obstacles on the Rocky Boys reservation can be more pronounced. Priority number 1 was making sure hundreds of students still had access to meals. Number 2 was ensuring students and staff were following CDC guidelines. And priority number 3 was revamping educational services. And that's where the Box Elder staff had to get creative.
Because of the high poverty rates that we deal with, rural community that we serve, student engagement was low, especially with our older students. So a couple of our teachers have taken the lead on some challenge-based learning projects where, you know, it's not your traditional textbook and worksheets type of education.
Through Apple's Connect Ed grant, which provides each student with an iPad, the new curriculum has taken on many forms.
We can't keep doing what we've always done because this is a totally different scenario. Because if kids weren't doing or were struggling with getting work done in the classroom, they're going to struggle even more outside of the classroom. So we're just trying to get them to think outside the box a little bit. A math portion, a language arts portion, a science portion, a history portion, Cree language and culture portion, and a physical education portion. And now we're having the teachers do it, so it's kind of like to show them, you know, we're putting ourselves out there and doing it, so now we want you to do it also.
So behind this is a group of passionate educators that want to see their students succeed and will try anything to make it happen.
Having kids open up opportunities to come out in a different way, it's been a pretty eye-opening, I guess, and I'm extremely proud of our staff, you know, and it's just a great group of people to be a part of.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
The Great Falls Community Food Bank is in need of your help now more than ever. Due to canceled food drives and increased demand, they're struggling to meet their demand every day. The Great Falls Community Food Bank helps to supply food to the Great Falls Rescue Mission, the Center for Mental Health, the Juvenile Detention Center, as well as local school food pantries. This week, they're urging you to help by taking part in their community food drive.
But what we really need is people to bring us food, especially if people have maybe bought too much and they realize now maybe they shouldn't have. Please donate that to any food drive around town. I don't care what the charity is.
And some of those items that they're in need of include pasta, spaghetti, canned corn, sloppy Joe mix, canned chili, and soup. Well, our weather is going through some midweek blues with cloudier skies and cooler temperatures than yesterday. Brandon, you're still tracking some snow as well.
Yeah, we've got some lingering snow showers on the Doppler network here. Nothing all that significant, but they're pretty numerous and they're pretty widespread across the area. We'll see those right now on the Doppler network, picking up quite a few of those snow showers. In general, though, they're scattered and pretty far apart. There's nothing all that concentrated. Just a couple of little bursts of snow is all we're expecting from that. We had one move through Great Falls just about 5 minutes ago. Nothing really being picked up except for maybe a stray flurry or two flying through the air on the U.S. Bank iCam. You can see, though, definitely gloomy off in the distance. Lots of cloud cover, and our temperature is pretty chilly. We're at 33 degrees right now. We've got that north wind at 8 miles per hour that has been bringing in cooler weather ever since that cold front moved through the area late last night. As far as tonight's forecast, probably a couple more of these flurries. Nothing all that significant, not really accumulating snow. Temperature will fall off a bit, down to about 22 degrees overnight tonight under mostly cloudy sky. Tomorrow, though, we're going to get it into some sunshine, clearing skies through the day, nice and sunny by the afternoon, a little bit warmer too. 42 degrees our high temperature, and then we're really going to start to warm up as we head into the day on Friday. We'll talk about how warm in your full forecast.
Thanks, Brandon. When the 5:30 news continues, legalized marijuana advocates are threatening to take the state to court over signature gathering during the coronavirus pandemic. Stay with us.
The Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Governor Steve Bullock entered the U.S. Senate race against Republican Steve Daines just 5 weeks ago, and it appears is having no trouble raising money for his campaign. In the 3 weeks ending March 31st, Bullock's campaign raised $3.3 million. Bullock released his fundraising numbers this morning. The Democratic governor entered the U.S. Senate race back on March 9th, the last possible day for filing as a candidate, after saying for months that he wasn't running. Daines, a first-term Republican, had $5 million in his campaign account as of December 31st and will file his latest fundraising report later today. The Bullock-Daines battle should be one of the most watched U.S. Senate contests in the nation and one of the most expensive. Bullock and Daines each have a primary election opponent, but neither challenger is well known by voters. Well, a group seeking to put marijuana legalization on Montana's November ballot is now suing the state, saying they should be able to collect signatures electronically during the coronavirus emergency. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian takes a closer look at their complaint.
Leaders with New Approach Montana say with the state taking measures to slow the spread of COVID-19, now is not the right time to send volunteers out to gather signatures.
I mean, there's plenty of people out at the grocery store, and I'm sure that if you wanted to gather signatures there, you probably do a pretty good business. But we just don't think that's appropriate right now until things calm down.
Earlier this year, New Approach submitted a pair of measures aimed at legalizing marijuana in Montana. Initiative 190 would set up a recreational marijuana system with a 20% tax on sales. Constitutional Initiative 118 would allow the state to set the minimum buying age at 21. Both measures have cleared legal review, but in order to qualify for the ballot, I-190 must receive more than 25,000 signatures from registered Montana voters, and CI-118 must receive 50,000. New Approach filed a lawsuit in Lewis and Clark County, asking to temporarily suspend some state laws to allow them to collect electronic signatures. They're also asking that the deadline for collecting signatures be moved back from June 19th to August 3rd. Leaders say they have a contract with a company that can verify electronic signatures. They say the state already accepts those signatures in many other uses.
This isn't new. This isn't novel. This is tried, true, tested technology. And we're just asking that for this emergency, we're able to use that technology to protect, the lives and the well-being of Montanans and also our democracy.
While the COVID response has created a new obstacle to qualifying a ballot initiative, New Approach leaders believe it might also create more interest in the millions of dollars of revenue they estimate legalized marijuana could raise for the state.
Looking at that, we definitely think that it's more of an incentive for Montana to look at the tax revenue now than it even was before.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
MT Cares, a group backing an initiative to require more renewable energy in the state, is also seeking changes in the signature gathering process. They're asking state officials to give them authority to count signatures collected by mail.
We are tracking a nice warm-up to close out the week, and then another warm-up as we start next week. We'll have the forecast up next.
Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Brandon Michaels.
Our weather is going to be getting a little bit better very soon here, and the reason for that, I've got it highlighted. This big area of high pressure just off to our north is kind of forming off of the divide to our north, and eventually, it's going to take some time, but eventually it's going to be drifting down right on top of us, give us some nice sinking air, get rid of the cloud cover, give us more sunshine, and actually give us a little bit of a boost in our temperatures too. That's what we're expecting in the next 24 hours or so. Unfortunately, for the next 12 hours or so, we're going to be stuck under this pattern, which is cloudy with scattered snow showers. Not really accumulating snow, but a couple of bursts of heavier snow are possible, kind of embedded in these snow showers that are moving through, and they're going to continue to do so through the night tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. You can still see it by 9 p.m. and even by midnight. We've got some areas of scattered snow here and there. By midnight, getting closer to the higher terrain with that, not as much off into the plains as it was earlier in the day. By tomorrow morning, mainly a little bit of mountain snow, some clouds, already starting to see some clearing, and the clearing trend is definitely going to continue through the day tomorrow. We're actually going to see nice sunny skies by the afternoon, so pretty much everybody across the state of Montana is going to be enjoying some sunshine for our Thursday, and that's going to kind of set the stage for some nicer weather as we head through the forecast, and that does, as I said, include a nice warm-up for us. 29 right now in Lewistown, 37 in Hayes, 37 in Havre, 33 in Cutbank, 41 for both Glasgow and Malta, and 43 for Jordan and Wolf Point. So not everybody is super cold right now, but it's definitely on the chilly side, and we're definitely going to see improvements as we head through the forecast here, not just tomorrow, but into the next day as well. So still a little chilly tonight, 19 for Malta, 20 for the overnight low in Glasgow, 19 for Chester, 17 for Havre, and 22 degrees for the overnight low temperature in Great Falls tonight. Through the day tomorrow, a little bit of a warm-up, not huge, but it's definitely some progress. By the noon hour, we're at about 32 degrees, so still chilly. Even into the afternoon, we're not exactly warm, but we do climb as we head into the later afternoon hours. And I think we are going to break into the 40s by the time everything's all said and done for our Thursday. So I'm going 42 degrees for our high temperature here in Great Falls. A couple of cooler spots, much like today. Geyser, Lewistown staying in the 30s, at least making it above freezing. 43 for the high temperature in Havre tomorrow, and also 43 degrees up in Harlem. So temperatures, for the most part, a couple degrees warmer than where they were today. Lots of sunshine on top of that, and not much wind on top of that either. Relatively calm winds. There'll be a little bit more breeze along the High Line and into northeast Montana, but in general, wind gusts at the most 10 to even 15 miles per hour, so not too bad, although those winds are going to be picking up through the forecast. Here's the wind gust forecast for Friday. You notice some of our traditionally windier spots like Choteau and Cutbank starting to stand out a little bit. 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts in those areas, 10 to 20 off to the east, but the stronger winds do bring in warmer temperatures. Friday's highs, some spots like Jordan all the way up to about 60 degrees. Still fairly cool in White Sulphur, but 56 for us in Great Falls, 51 in Cutbank. So we start to trend in the right direction, although we are going to get a little bit of a setback into the day on Saturday. Let's go through the 7-day forecast now. Again, starting to warm up a little bit on Thursday. Bit breezier, warmer on Friday, 56, but then some more cold air starts to push in on Saturday. As it does, a little bit of a rain-snow mix is possible. That's not looking like anything all that significant right there. And then as we head through the remainder of the forecast, things get much nicer. Sun and clouds for Sunday, lots of sunshine for Monday, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're looking at highs in the mid-60s. Shannon?
All right, thanks, Brandon. Up next, Montana's high school soccer stars get sidelined, why organizers decided to pull the plug on a summer classic.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
Thanks for staying with us. This week is National Animal Control and Appreciation Week. Whether they're responding to requests for help with animals, from wild to dangerous, or helping animals in distress, this week is designed to thank those workers for all they do. The officers who dedicate their lives to helping pets and people in the community each day.
It means a lot. I'm doing something that I love. I'm around the small furry creatures I love. It's like I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to work with animals, and I finally got that. So.
Today, the Great Falls Police Department held a lunch for their officers to show their appreciation for all they do. Fairfield social studies teacher Mike Schmidt is constantly on the hunt for the next guest speaker to supplement his lessons. Today, that guest speaker happened to be Mark Cuban, owner of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks. Cuban spoke to Schmidt's U.S. history class via Zoom, answering students' questions ranging from the pandemic to his business experience and reading suggestions. Schmidt said he tries to get speakers with different perspectives that are specifically relevant to his material. He said Cuban was a timely guest during the COVID-19 pandemic for a variety of reasons, including Cuban recently being named as a consultant on President Trump's panel on restarting the economy.
Now, obviously, this one, I wanted to talk to somebody who is dealing with the pandemic just like our kids are. You know, his NBA season, his team, the Mavericks, got shut down. Our spring season looks like it's going to be shut down, or at least we're missing half of it already. And so I just wanted somebody, you know, a different opinion, perspective that the kids would listen to, that they can maybe find value in.
Meanwhile, Chaudere Children's Hospital announced that they've canceled this year's Chaudere Soccer Classic over COVID-19 concerns. For 2 decades, the annual event has featured the top graduating student athletes from high schools across the state in all-star soccer games. The student athletes would also spend some time giving back and assisting the soccer clinics and Soccer Classic Kids Clinic and raising awareness for Chaudere Children's Hospital. The players for the Chaudere Soccer Classic are invited to play due to their all-state and all-conference nominations, academic achievement, leadership, and citizenship in their communities. Chaudere wants to congratulate every player that was selected this year and apologizes that this is part of their senior year being taken away from the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, right after this break, we'll have a look back at the anniversary of the famed Notre Dame Cathedral up in flames. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Our weather is going to be getting nicer over the next couple of days, but for now we are still tracking some snow showers across the area. A couple of those are a little bit heavier, but even if they are heavy, bringing some bursts of snow, they're going to be very brief. They're not going to last very long, so not really any impacts from this snow that's moving in through the forecasts here. Warmer tomorrow, not by much, but into the 40s. Much nicer by Friday with a high of 56. We do cool back down into the day on Saturday, back into the 40s.
Well, today marks 1 year since that devastating fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral, in Paris. There's still uncertainty about the future of the 850-year-old church. Experts are assessing the damage and trying to determine if it's structurally sound. They're also working to remove a giant scaffolding that was inside when the fire broke out. It melted into a tangled heap. The French president has pledged to rebuild Notre Dame within 5 years. Well, thanks for making us a part of your evening. We'll see you over on the CW at 9 o'clock for the latest headlines and back here at 10 o'clock. Good evening.